Welcome back to your final County Commissioners Corner segment for May 2018. Again, Scott Vargo, your host, Thomas and Dan, your County Commissioners. Karn is bedridden following a knee replacement surgery elsewhere. So we wish her the best and a quick recovery.
She will be back stronger than ever.
Yes. We assume so. And then she'll be getting the other knee done because she will have worn out that one. It's just a whole process. All right, so speaking of processes, we want to talk about short-term rental regulations and the process that the county is going through to try to adopt some regulations. So we had a big turnout at a work session just a few weeks back where we talked about short-term rental regulations, and the fine folks at Airbnb and HomeAway and VRBO were kind enough to alert the entire county and anybody and everybody that might have a short-term rental property that's listed on any of their sites about the fact that we were looking at regulations. And so it was good for them to be there, I think, to hear some of what the county is looking at because they don't believe that what we're doing is very draconian at all. And in my estimation is really us sort of catching up with other counties and other municipalities here in Summit County. So who wants to jump in and talk a little bit about what we are looking at?
I'll kick it off a little bit too. You know, we think in unincorporated Summit County there are about a little over 4,000, I believe, short-term rentals, and most of the towns in Summit County are doing something right now. You know, they require a business license at a minimum, and then some type of a fee associated with that business license. And we're not looking at doing anything that different than what the towns are already doing. Because of state law, we are not able to require business licenses, but we can require potential permits.
Right.
So we're kind of going down that path to explore, what a permit might look like, what a fee associated with that may look like. And it's really amazing to see, what all the towns are doing. And I think a lot of the folks that attended really thought, I think they were thinking that we were, imposing new regulations on people that live in, Breckenridge or Frisco or other areas, but we're strictly looking at unincorporated Summit County. We've had some great stakeholder input from Summit Association of Realtors, as well as the trade associations representing many short-term rental companies in Summit County, and I think those feedbacks were really great. I think I support many of them that were recommended to us.
Thomas, what are the big areas that we're trying to focus on up front here?
So I think, to start with, one of the things that we as local government are supposed to do is provide a level playing field, right? And, one of the things that we know about those 4,000 and some short-term rentals is most are not remitting sales tax to us, right, for that activity. Well, okay, some are, but that's not a level playing field, right? So there's one issue. A second is if you're doing short-term rentals, then you've got an obligation to pay the commercial rate on everything that's inside that residential unit. So there's another thing that the assessor needs help with. But again, that has to do with, is everybody going to follow the same rules, right? Is everybody going to play by the same rule book? So those are a couple of obvious things that we should be as local government addressing, right? I think after that, then it pretty quickly becomes issues around public safety, right? And how many people are going into a unit, and is that safe or not? Are there smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors? Are there other important safety features that have been provided or not? Those are the sorts of things that people expect us to think about, and that should be part of a permitting process, right? I think after that, then it becomes an issue around nuisance. And all governments, including county government, have an ability to control nuisance issues, right? And so if somebody decides, I'm just going to change my front yard into a parking lot and allow 6 cars to park on the front yard in order to accommodate filling this house up as part of an Airbnb, that starts to create a nuisance issue. And so we've certainly heard from neighbors of some people doing Airbnb or VRBO that are fairly unhappy with the change in character of their residential neighborhood because of this activity. So those are some of the other things that, you know, people are contacting us individually about and saying, you've got to do something, right? So
Trash is the other one, and
trash is a
making
huge
sure
one,
that
right.
that what we see a lot is the short-term renters are coming in on, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever. They put the trash out on Sunday. Collection doesn't come till Wednesday, and then of course the bear and other wildlife have gotten in and spread trash all over the neighborhood. That's another big complaint that we hear a lot of, and I think the towns in some cases have said, well, we want to have some sort of local contact. We want to have some sort of property manager that can be contacted quickly when any of these issues occur. And I think that's another piece that we're looking at within the regulations for the county.
We are sort of playing catch up though. Most resort communities have done some sort of enactment of regulations already. So we're in catch up mode right now. But I guess the benefit there is you are able to look at what a bunch of other jurisdictions that are similar to us, you know, here in the county or in Colorado have done with this and try to learn, you know, what works best. And then also, how do you manage it? How do you oversee it? In a lot of cases, jurisdictions hire a third-party contractor because it requires that level of oversight.
And in many cases, again, with a number around 4,000 units, it requires some technical savvy that the county doesn't have, or some software that the county doesn't possess. And these third-party vendors are able to go out and data mine and pull out the information to try and identify who is in compliance and who's not. And so we're also going down that road to look at what alternatives exist and how might we all partner as the county and the towns to get the same vendor on board. Maybe there's an economy of scale associated with that as well.
So a lot more to come, a lot more meetings to come, a lot more discussion to come. We hope to get something done before the end of the year.
All right. Related to short-term rentals, at least to some degree, so as some of the feedback that we've received, certainly from the community, particularly as we went through on our process to update our countywide master plan, we heard a lot of feedback about short-term rentals and concerns about neighborhood character. We heard a lot about concerns about the effect short-term rentals were having on the inventory of long-term rentals and other, you know, property availability, prices going up, et cetera. So on June the 11th, from 1 to 4 at the Community and Senior Center, the Summit Combined Housing Authority will be hosting a housing summit. And part of that housing summit will include some discussion with all of the towns in the county, the school district, some of the big private industry folks within the community, the chamber, et cetera, to talk about short-term rentals and a myriad of other things related to workforce housing within Summit County. So folks are encouraged to come. There'll certainly be opportunity for the public to be in the room and certainly offer up questions as time permits. But there will be a lot of conversation amongst the jurisdictions here locally and some of the bigger players in the community to talk about housing and short-term rentals included in that.
Right.
Other comments about that upcoming meeting?
We know that housing is one of the top issues in the county, if not the important issue. And so I'm looking forward to the opportunity to see kind of what the different towns are thinking, what some of the other stakeholders are thinking as well, sharing information. The Summit Combined Housing Authority, for example, Thomas, you've been on the board for that, and you're on the board now, but I've never been on the board. But I've been aware of everything they've been working on, but just making sure that, especially all the electeds, are really kind of almost on the same page in many ways.
I mean, it's interesting. The most important thing that happened recently was the voters gave all of the jurisdictions significant funding with the passage of the 2016 5A, right? It's why the town of Silverthorne now is moving forward with Smith Ranch. It's why we're able to move forward with the project at West Hills. It's why, the town of Breckenridge can, go even faster than what it was doing before, right? But each jurisdiction controls its own 5A monies. So, meetings like this where we all sit in a room together to figure out, collectively, are we covering the bases, and how do we, work with each other to make sure that overall we're getting the job done as best as we can with the funds that the voters have given us. That's what I think is really important about a housing summit like this.
Yep. So we're looking forward to that. I think that's all we've got for today's show. So thanks for sticking with us throughout the whole thing, and stay tuned to SCTV 10 for lots of other great programming, or summitnews.com.